able to have your own studio allows you to set up that system so that when you take that system, when you have that system, you can take that system to the major studio, like you said, Max. And again, you've already got a flow that you're in, you know, and you can essentially be able to foresee how long it's going to take you to record a whole album or record a single. You know, you can be like, all right, look, I normally spend time in the studio, like with my creative process, with me like laying down the vocals, you know, laying down a beat and things like that. Okay, that takes me, you know, all of like 8 hours. All right, well, now I know that if I go into a studio, you know, now I can quantify how long it's going to take me to put together an album. Again, going back to you creating your budget, your marketing strategy, all these things like that. We are back. Soundboard Sundays. Okay, Soundboard Sundays. I'm thoroughly, like, again, just loving getting together, you know, with you, Max. You know, it's a blessing, man, getting together in the morning meetup, and then like to be able to connect with someone, you know, who I already have a respect for. We're entrepreneurs and things like that, and we're able to get together and give value to people is just awesome, man. Your post this week, you said, just give value. That was such a heavy bar right there. You know what I'm saying? Just give value. And that's essentially what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? What we're trying to do is give that value, man.
Yeah, appreciate you for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I got my wine. You know what I'm saying today? You know, you're kicking back a little bit, but yeah. So before we get into the 8 reasons, you know what I'm saying, to invest in a home studio, why you need to invest into a home studio, you know, we like to go, this is micro, and we want to go macro, which is like, okay, like you need to essentially invest in yourself, in your well-being, your mental space, your motivation, things like that, prior to and while and continuing to do that while you're, you know, pushing your product, pushing your service, whatever you have, as a emerging music producer and emerging artist. Okay, so Max,
yes, sir.
What did you learn this week? What did you learn this week, Max?
Plenty of things. Although one bar that stuck out from the book we are reading at this very moment is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Chapter 8, if I'm not mistaken. This part, yeah.
Chapter 8?
That's it. This bar, man, that hit me. Let me see. Okay, it's right here. The third paragraph, we'd say, yeah, pretty much the third paragraph where it says, if you say to yourself, how would I feel? How would I react if I were in his shoes? You would save yourself time and irritation. For by becoming interested in the cause, we are less likely to dislike the effect. And I was like, wow, I had to stop right there. I just underlined it. And then it says, and in addition, you will sharply increase your skill in human relationships. And, you know, it goes with everything we deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know, whether it's work, anything that has to do with cause and effect. Home studio, in-home studio. Knowing that you're interested in the cause, you're less likely to be, you know, to feel a certain type of way about the effects, because you know why you're engaging yourself in that particular activity or in that particular relationship. So it's always important to remember the cause and the effect in everything you do, and you know, just embrace what you got. Yeah,
that's heavy. Yeah, I mean, there is always a consequence to everything.
Exactly.
You know, and the consequence always isn't. Sometimes we equate consequence to being like, oh, it's something bad, but you know, consequence is just that. It's like what happens, you know, after, you know, something happens, you know, and so consequence doesn't always have to be negative. I'm kind of I'm in the mindset now, bro, and viewers, that I don't, I try to say, okay, nothing's truly negative. Either something pushed my business forward, gave me, more self-awareness, something with, I guess, a positive win, and then maybe something with like a negative win. Maybe I learned not to do something, So again, that cause and effect is so important to value it and to cherish it and to not like go too deep into a hole, about that. So, my bar, which I will probably talk about it in another video, but I watched J. Cole's Applying Pressure off-season documentary this week, and it was absolutely awesome. It's only like 12 minutes. I thoroughly suggest artists and music producers, wherever you are in your process, in your growth, watch that joint like today. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch it today. It's awesome. J. Cole's a humble dude, and at the same token, he has been successful. He's done the tours. He's done every single thing that, people are looking to do right now. That's why you're here, right? So it was kind of like broken down into chapters, but chapter 1 was comfort is the enemy, right? And so it's a quote by Peter McWilliams, which says, be willing to be uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. It may get tough, but it's a small price to pay for living a dream, right? And so I know, yeah, that's heavy, right? So I wanted to share like a really small story because, we need to get to our the topic today, the 8 reasons why you need to invest into a home studio.
That's it.
But essentially, so long story short, I had GarageBand, right? I was starting out on a GarageBand when I was doing my music singing. Well, I was doing my singing-songwriter stuff, and I was and early music production. I was like, all right, I'm on GarageBand. I got GarageBand down, to a degree, but GarageBand can be kind of limiting in terms of like its processing speed, and you can't add but so many tracks and things like that before it starts to get real heavy on your CPU. And so what I did was I bought Logic Pro, right? I bought Logic Pro, but because I was so comfortable with GarageBand and how it operated, I didn't step into Logic Pro because the program just looks so, like the Digital Audio Workspace, DAW, looks so big and so daunting. I was like, you know what? Instead of me getting into Logic Pro, I'm just gonna keep, working around in this GarageBand, which was great, but it was limiting, so I was comfortable, right? So here's what ends up happening is a whole year later, I'm like, all right, look, like I got my pain point is that GarageBand, I've gotten to a place where I'm producing music that is more CPU heavy. I got more tracks, got more, effects and things like that. I get to Logic Pro, you guys, and I'm like, oh, shoot, it's not as difficult. Actually, GarageBand and Logic Pro, they interface with each other very, very, very well. I get to Logic Pro. No lie, y'all, I start working in Logic Pro. I love it. I'm working Logic Pro for about 3 weeks, and then my whole computer crashes.
Damn.
The whole computer crashes. Not only does it crash, but it crashes when I had set up a session. I had set up a session to do my audio engineering business and things like that. So I had set up a session. This was one of my early clients and things like that. Y'all, I lost all my music, lost the bread that I would have gotten that day for the session, had no backups, no nothing, this, that, and the other, all because I was comfortable. Again, if I had started that a year before, I might not have lost all this stuff. You dig what I'm saying? But again, the computer gotten older, over a year's time span, and I lost all that stuff. And so, again, I got uncomfortable too late, So be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's the place where everything, essentially, it really happens because you're like, yo, I'm uncomfortable. I got to get this. I got to get that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my bar, again, today is be uncomfortable. Make sure that you get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's heavy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's super heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
What's up? If you just joined us, thank you all for joining. This is Soundboard Sundays, episode number 3. Okay, we're going to break down 8 reasons why you need to invest in a home studio. Okay, at least hopefully we will give you reasons that you want to invest into a home studio, or again, like if this ain't your bag, you know, it might not be, but we're going to give you the keys that we've worked to put together so that you know if this is something that you need to do, to pursue or to not do, okay?
That's it.
So, okay, all right. Max, what we got? Number 1, what we doing?
Man, number 1, I would say is pretty much the most important. Well, it goes by, by order, obviously. Number 1 is it cuts down on the idea crafting time, because obviously when you have a studio, it costs money. You want to know that you have to understand how engineers charge artists and how the process of it is very difficult. So by having your home studio, you know that you won't necessarily pay much than having to go to a studio for the engineering process or whatnot. So it's very important to understand how you don't want to overspend. As long as you keep it on a budget, it will definitely help you throughout the process of having your home studio.
Right. Being creative, y'all, it costs money. I know this like firsthand. It really costs money to sit in the studio and just be creative. And when you are working on your project yourself, and you are trying to just be wise about where you put your funds and things like that, cutting down on that studio cost is so important. Like Max said, like if you're sitting in the studio and you're like, yeah, I don't even know what I want to write, what should the song be about? What should what should the song be about? And if you're doing that, the audio engineer, he's just sitting there like, look, like I'm on the clock, you paying me like $70 to like $100 and some change, 200 even, that's on the lower end per hour, for you to just be thinking and things like that, for you to be creative. So I remember Erykah Badu, when Apple was really just coming out with GarageBand, like back in like probably about 15, 16 years ago, they had an ad showing that Erykah Badu, I think she worked on, this was New America. I think it was her New America album, the first one. And what she ended up, what they said was that she did all of her vocals in GarageBand. And so that was their whole pitch again to promote GarageBand and link up with her, is that they, I guess gave her a bait or whatever. Anyways, think about how much time she had at home, wherever she was, to just work out ideas. That's the importance of, again, the importance of having a studio. It cuts down on your budget, that you have for a project. Everything's got a budget, whether you're releasing an EP, whether you're releasing a single, like the marketing and all those things, like it has a budget, and you have to add in, like, all right, am I, going to be in the studio, recording stuff for music producers? Am I going to use up time going to a studio to lay down my beats and this, that, and the other? Or do I want to lay all my stuff down at home, and take all my files to a studio and then just be focusing on like spending money on the mixing process, if you're not, doing the audio engineering yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's so important, is cutting down on the idea crafting time. The second one is what, Max? What's the second one?
Got the second one here. It says it helps you to become more familiar with recording, recording not only as a recording process, but recording your voice.
Right.
And that's very important because it allows you to be more comfortable in your home setting. You're going to be familiar with all the pieces you have at home.
Right.
If you have the right tools and you're able to record in an efficient manner, then you won't necessarily feel like it's forced or whatnot, because
Right.
You're pretty much in your comfort zone, but you're getting out of your comfort zone because you're doing something that's not necessarily habitual.
Right. So look, every person, if you are going to just start recording today or tomorrow or this week, okay, it's going to be the most weirdest thing to hear your voice coming back into your headphones, okay? Every single person that I have, every single artist that I've recorded, through my audio engineering business, I mean, if it's their first time, you're going to spend literally you're going to spend a little while just getting used to the fact that you're hearing your voice coming back into your own headphones, right? And the reason is because whenever we're talking right now, what we are hearing is our voice reverberating through our bones and our chest, and it's coming out of our mouth and then coming around to our ears, right? And so that's what we're hearing. When we put on headphones, we cut out that sound that's coming out of our mouths, the bass and everything like that that comes around to the ears, right? So I got a little activity, what I'm saying, for you to do, okay? If you're watching this, right, and you want to get used to your recording voice, you can do this. You take your two hands like this, and you put both hands right in front of your ears, okay? If you're doing this right now, you will definitely see a difference, okay? You have bass in your voice right now, you're cutting out that low end that you naturally hear. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you will hear in the studio, okay? So this is a really great thing to practice. It's like, look, all right, if my voice is just real high like this, maybe I can, again, practice some more bass in my voice and this, that, and the other. But this is what you're going to hear coming back into your ears once you cancel out that natural bass that you hear coming out of your mouth, reverberating from your bones and, reverberating in your body. That's what you're going to hear. So remember that, you know what I'm saying? A little tip for when you are ready to go into the studio, even with yourself, is just right now, you can do that. Put your hands in front of your ears and move them and just see the difference between that, cutting out that low end. Okay, that's some audio engineering stuff, but you're cutting out that low end and you're being able to hear what your voice sounds like in a recording and coming back, okay?
Yeah,
that was I don't know where I learned that. I don't know where I learned that from. I think I learned that from some little science program or something like that on we got a public access station called PBS or whatever like that. But I was like, yo, let me do that. Oh shoot, let me do that. Wow. It's crazy. It's
simple
crazy.
But effective.
Simple but effective. So that's again the first two reasons. If you're just joining us today, we're talking about 8 reasons why you need to invest in a home studio. All right. If you know somebody, please share this video with them right now. We are breaking these bars down for you right now. We're breaking these reasons down for you right now. Okay. So you don't, so you know exactly what you want to do. You're not wasting your money, getting a bunch of bells and whistles and, you're not shortchanging yourself because you're like, oh, I'm just going to go into the studio. All right. So number 3, what we got number 3?
Definitely. Number 3, it says you could rent out your space and generate some side money from other recording artists. So that's very important because, you're going to learn how to become pretty much like an owner of a studio since you got your own studio. Yeah. And, it develops that entrepreneurial spirit and helps you, become a lot more, have more authority when it comes to creating your art and helping others create their art. So figure out a way where you could put that on a schedule. Let's say there's a day that you focus only on the bookings and communicate with those who are interested in having and renting your studio. This way you could generate more customers on the side.
Exactly. So again, that's what I did. As I was like, look, I want to record myself. I wanted to record Deja Bell because we were working on a project together, and I was like, look, I'm not always recording, and so what am I going to do with this equipment and things like that if I'm not recording? right now. I probably spent about $3,000 on, just this whole setup. But what if I'm not recording? Like, what can I do when I literally don't have, like, when I haven't booked some time for my own project or project that I'm working closely on? Rent out that time. Rent out that time. Like a home studio, I rented out my home studio, was getting $35 an hour. $35 an hour. Like, some of us are not even getting paid that at our jobs. $35 an hour. And again, if you factor in, because you got overhead costs, but your overhead costs like some electricity, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Electricity and, your time. So you factor in that, that overhead cost of just like electricity, and you can figure out, again, how much profit you're bringing in, from that. So that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can turn a music studio into, a money-making, a money-generating source of income, and you get to have your home studio at the same token, right? So that's reason number 3. Reason number 4.
It's a bit similar to the second reason. It says you become more familiar with the recording process and you cultivate your own unique process in a comfortable setting. So you still figure out a way to get out of your comfort zone within your horizons, and every little touch will mean something. Every little touch will be managed or even coordinated a certain way, because you're going to develop that skill, and it helps you develop certain skills that you probably didn't have in the past. So that's something we encourage.
Right. And so again, just to touch on that point, is creating a system for efficiency. We can be in the studio as music producers. We can be in the studio for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and not have a product, at the end of that time, right? And so you have to remember that the whole point, unless you are just doing this for the love and it's hobby, but even still, if it is a hobby, like, you want to see progress, with your hobby, right? You know what I'm saying? So being able to have your own studio allows you to set up that system, so that when you take that system, when you have that system, you can take that system to the major studio, like you said, Max. And again, you've already got a flow that you're in, and you can essentially be able to foresee how long it's going to take you to record a whole album or record a single. You can be like, all right, look, I normally spend time in the studio, like with my creative process, with me like laying down the vocals, laying down a beat and things like that. Okay, that takes me, all of like 8 hours. All right. Well, now I know that if I go into a studio, now I can quantify how long it's going to take me to put together an album. Again, going back to you creating your budget, your marketing strategy, all these things like that. You put that, you put that recording time in there. But when you have a home studio, it allows you the patience,
right?
The flexibility, to hone in on your craft. It's like having a basketball court at home, or having like a little, like, a little adjustable basketball court at home versus like every single time, you want to play basketball, you're like put in the game, whatever like that. You have no method, no system, you haven't been able to practice on your craft a lot. So, again, you become more familiar. That is number 4. All right. Again, 8 reasons why you need to invest in a home studio. All right. That's what we got. What's number 5?
We got number 5. It has the potential to become more cost effective in the long run, obviously, because the money you use to buy all the equipment can cost less than going to a professional studio. And we talked about this already during the second point, and the first point too. The first point, rather, is that it's important to keep your costs low, because you're starting out. you're at the beginning phase of your career, and you want to know how much you can invest in certain things, whether it's video shoots or photo shoots. But once you're able to manage the funds you have, even if it's like a budget of $200, $500, then eventually it's going to be eventually it's going to help you manage other funds in a better way. So like the way you do anything is the way you do everything. That's always something you got to take in consideration.
Right. So, okay, like again, you can get a home studio probably set up for under $3,000, right? Under $3,000, you can get something set up under $3,000. 8 hours in a professional studio at the studio is $75 an hour. That is $600, okay, for 1 8-hour session. You know, now again, like it depends. Like songs I've seen songs, just a song, you know, range from 8 to 10 hours. That's like recording, mixing, mastering, to 24 hours, you know, time. You know, so again, when you have bought your own home studio, you've made that investment, right? You put in that essential, investment. It's going to save you so much money in the long run, right? You know, it's like haircuts, right? I cut my own hair, but then I also go to the barber, right? You know, in DC, the great barbers in DC was like $65 a cut, you know what I'm saying? Whatever like that. And so I was like, good gracious. Like, I mean, if you wanted like style and design, it was $65 a cut. So again, if you wanted to buy yourself like some clippers, you know, like some wall clippers and things like that, and with some adjustment function, that might cost you, like a good wall set might cost you like, you know, $60, you know? But again, if you're cutting your hair, just simple trim ups and things like that, just simple lineups so you can be fresh or whatever like that, yo, you have paid for your clippers and essentially in like one clipping. You know, if it costs $65 and the barber costs $65 every single time, you pay for your clippers, you know, in one haircut. Okay, that's what that's what having your own home studio, investing in your own home studio is about. You know, you're able to get every single thing that you need to get down before you need to take it to somewhere else. And like I said, I still need to get haircuts. You still may need to go to the studio as a music producer, as a singer-songwriter, right? But the point is that when you have that base foundation together, you're spending less money, you know, all around. And that's the whole name of the game, is spending less money. Music production, singing, songwriting, it is a business nonetheless. You will have to get down to the bottom line. And even in this artwork, we can be in the red or we can be in the black. You know, the black meaning, you know, profit, the red meaning losses or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? And things like that you're missing. So, you know, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? Again, number 5 is, again, it has the potential of keeping down your equipment cost, you know, keeping down your studio costs.
I wanted to add something to what you just said. It's interesting because that professional studio can become like your school or even your training. So you learn how the engineer moves and how everyone in the studio manages the studio. This way you could apply for your own self whenever you're at home. So I was important to take notes and learn from other people who are doing it.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So that's number 5, right? We're on number 5. Number 6.
Yes, sir.
The 6th reason why you need to invest in a home studio. Please be taking notes.
So there's a problem and a solution, how you can solve it. The problem is recording yourself. Having to record and edit your own music and stop your flow as you're recording for an artist. You know, that's very important. You want to flow throughout the whole process. And the way you could solve it is have someone there to press, edit, or even delete delete certain parts, delete certain mistakes you have. This way you could flow a little bit better. So it's always important to make sure you have a go-to person, someone who you could rely on, or someone who could rely on yourself too, and be that type of accountability partner, that person that will tell you, hey man, you need to go a little bit harder on this end. Here's how you could improve. And then even if it's a few hours you could pay that person, or even that person could pay you, however you want to bargain, figure out a way to do it. That's great.
Right. So, so this, it's one of the things that come about, in your recording process, like Max was saying. But right, what I'm saying, like you said, Max, again, like if you have your own home studio, again, going back to the money factor, right? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be cheaper to be like, yo, this is my homie, or this is my, significant other, or even if you have a child, and your child is like, I'd say like, shoot, like 11, 12, it's like, it's good to, invest in just kind of showing them how to like, press the record button, and, again, how to press the delete button. They can be your like, kind of temporary audio engineer, just a little backup helping you out or whatever like that. But again, you have that. It's way cheaper to have that person than to have that audio engineer doing that for you. I'm not crapping on audio engineers. I'm an audio engineer. I love business when it comes to me, but at the same token, what we're doing here is we're talking about how to be, how to improve your skills, how to be a better singer-songwriter, how to be a better music producer, right? So I'm an advocate now for the music producers, and the singer-songwriters, all right? I'm saying? I'm not like wearing my audio engineering hat. But right, I'm saying? You have somebody, to press record, delete mistakes, and, again, work the scrubber for you if you have that home studio, and you can do that again with a low cost by having a home studio. All right, we got what? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th reason, and I'll take this one, Max. I'll take this one. 7th reason is convenience of having the home studio available for recording or practicing, but you must have discipline with your habit. Okay, so this is kind of 2 parts, right? It's you have the convenience of like just going downstairs or wherever you are, so that you can get to the idea real quickly, but you got to have discipline with your habit. So that goes into, we read a book for the morning meetup, which Max and myself are a part of. If you want to be a part of the morning meetup, it's dope. Over 300 entrepreneurs get together, and link up, and just with David Shands, and guest speakers it's like maybe like 2 or 3 guest speakers every week or whatever like that. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So we all get together and just, again, chop it up, network with each other, do business with each other, and learn and better our craft. We read a book called Atomic Habits, and this kind of goes into that, the discipline of creating a habit, right? But once you have those, atomic habits, or once you have that atomic habit, the discipline, the convenience is way better. On the flip side, though, if you are struggling with the discipline, you have an at-home studio, you can get, again, too comfortable. Remember, we talked about being too comfortable in the beginning, and you have to be uncomfortable, right? So again, like even maybe putting your home studio in another place. Maybe it's not so close to you. Maybe it's not like, if you can afford to, maybe it's not like in your room. Maybe it's somewhere like in a shed or in a garage or, in another room of the house. Again, if you live in an apartment and there's sound ordinances, that's another great way to be uncomfortable. That means you got to get disciplined and say, look, I can't do any music past 9 p.m. So I need to be on top of my stuff. I need to set my schedule, be very disciplined, and know that I'm coming into the office, to lay down some music production. I'm coming into the office to lay down some vocals if you're a singer-songwriter. You know. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Max. What
I
you got
like
on
that.
that?
It touched. I just wanted to add a little bit more of what you said. It's like having a vision board, making sure that you keep it right in front of your face every rising. You remember, you tell yourself why you need that vision board, right? The ideas on the vision boards. So it's, once you have the equipment for your home studio, it doesn't stop there. You need to write down the daily goals, how many hours you're going to spend using that studio, why you need to have that home studio. For instance, I like what the brother just said earlier, Shako. He said, I personally think that if you have a home studio, don't spend too much time on it, because you might not even use it like that. So it goes back to what we were saying earlier, how you could rent out your space and have other people,
Right.
using it. If you like to go to professional studios, but you could still have that home studio as a revenue. This way, every dollar you get from that home studio, you can invest it in your professional studio. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact right there. That is a fact right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a definite fact right there. I ain't mean to interrupt you, but that's the bar right there. You know? That's the bar right there. I know people, again, like I said, like people who do like what's a little house hacking, where you in the Airbnb space, where you rent out, an apartment. I mean, you rent out you buy a place and then you rent out, like a couple rooms, you know what I'm saying, for Airbnb. And those are money generators. Those things end up paying for your mortgage. Okay. And again, like, what are we into? We're into thinking smart, getting our stuff, you know what I'm saying, done, a lot quicker and a lot sooner. Again, so the discipline and the, convenience of having a home studio right there is priceless. It is priceless, but you do have to be disciplined in your habit of saying, I'm going into the office at this time, and it's that, and I'm coming out of the office. I'm coming out of the office, and you just go in and grind real hard, on your stuff. What's the 8th reason, Max?
Yes, sir. So the 8th reason we got here says, let me see right here. Stop for a second. Okay, so the true cost of recording your music, parentheses, recording plus engineering, which allows you to create a budget for producing your musical product. So
right.
Whenever you set yourself a certain standard or a certain objective, you want to know how much will it cost, and you want to have a certain budget for everything you do. So like I said earlier, going to a professional studio and learning from those who have a lot more experience can teach you how to do it for yourself, and can teach you what to be disciplined on every dollar. Because, like, you got to think about it. Every dollar needs to work for you. So if you're able to think in a way where your home studio could be an investment for your personal studio, then it's always gonna work in your way. Even for a music video or for anything, let's say you have a product that is out and you use that same product, for instance, a course or ebook. You want to teach other artists how to do it once you reach a certain level. That money you get from the product could be invested in music videos or your personal brand or social media investments, or social media marketing or whatnot.
Right. Max, how much, essentially from the emerging artists aspect, how much are they how much are they going to be spending after they get out of the studio?
Talking about
on pushing one song.
For a professional studio?
I'm sorry?
Wait, I missed that
part. No. After the studio aspect is done, after they've recorded, mixed, mastered, how much are they usually going to be spending? How much are emerging artists going to be spending, again, to push a song? Indie artists, to push a song.
Thousands of dollars.
Well, what's the number? What's the number, do you think? On a low scale?
Man, I would definitely say over 25,000.
Okay, right. Yeah, and that's just, again, that's...
Go up to 50,000.
Right. And see, that's the whole thing. Like, that's what, sometimes, again, indie makes sense, and I'm just kind of veering off a little bit, but independent artists make sense because you get to keep essentially more of the bag, right? You know what I'm saying? You get to keep more of the bag instead of like, okay, so if you sign a label, you might be able to only keep like 3%, of the revenue from each song or things like that, right? So if you are an indie artist, you might be able to keep 97%, right? The other 3% is from the, the sites that you have to use. What's the site? Can't remember what it's called. DistroKid. We use DistroKid and things like that. So you got to give up some bread somewhere. But as an independent artist, you get to keep more of your money, right? Mm-hmm. The flip side is that, you have to just weigh it out. It's like, look, can I afford to invest, $20,000, on a marketing by itself? $25,000 on a low end. Can I afford to invest that in, getting like a moderate, a moderate, marketing campaign? Can I afford to invest that? And you possibly could. You really truly possibly could. It really is about like thinking about this thing from a long-term spectrum. And so what you're doing is just saving up money, and stuff like that to fuel a launch of your project, right? Or you can say, look, like I'm working towards getting signed and things like that. I'm working to getting signed, and I want that. What do you want? Do you want that advance?
Yes.
All right. You want that advance money. Most people, again, maybe now, but maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know that, $200,000, $500,000, you get signed and you get $200,000 to $500,000. That is an advance against your royalties, your royalty earnings. Okay. And we, talk about that at some point in time, but that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So in a nutshell, what that means is that when a record label signs you, you drop your music, you drop your album with the record label. They need to make money off of that record. They need to make money from the record. They need to pay back the marketing, whatever they needed to do to make that record hot. That comes out of your earnings. Okay, it goes to the record label has to pay who they need to pay, and then they got to pay themselves, and then you get paid after that. But it might be worth it. It might be worth it. But still at the same token, ain't no record label man checking for you if you don't have some solid recordings on your own. Okay, that's just the bottom line about it. So it's again, like I'm trying to give y'all like reasons why you need to invest. Trying to say you need, you might need to invest, but it really is kind of like a no-brainer, because whether you are going indie or whether you want to be, get that look from, some record executives, you got to have some polished work already. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. So again, like those are the 8 reasons why you need to think about investing in a home studio. Okay?
That was powerful.
If this man was awesome to you, was this good information to you? Just in the comment section, just type yes.
That's
waiting
powerful.
For that. Anybody? Did this touch anybody?
Let us know what y'all think about this live. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Felt like a. Oh, he said, yeah. Shout out to you, Shako. Appreciate you.
Shout out to you, Shako. Yes.
He's a recording artist, by the way. And make sure you follow my boy Matty the Chef. He's been dropping gems, and he's continuously going to drop gems.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Yes. Make sure you go follow my guy, Max Bupese. You know what I'm saying? We're doing this, and this is what we're doing this for. Is again like really trying to just give the value so that you know what you're getting into. Not really trying to scare off the people who really ain't serious about it. Honestly, that's probably the best thing for you to do is say, nah, this is too much for me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'd rather put my efforts into something else, maybe writing a book or something else like that. But if this is something that you again, are thoroughly serious about, whether it's like, yo, I just want to build this craft, you know, because I realize some people are hobbyists, very serious hobbyist music producers. Okay, we're talking to you too, very serious hobbyist singer-songwriters. We're talking to you guys too. You know, invest in yourself. You will have to invest in yourself at some point. You know, so, you know, again, that's pretty much the end of what we wanted to share with you guys today. You know, and we hope that, you know, that this was beneficial to you. You know, we don't want to just come on here and just be chatting it up and wasting your time. We, again, thank you. We know that, like, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we thoroughly appreciate that. You know, we thoroughly appreciate you guys spending time with us every 3 o'clock for the Soundboard Sundays. You know, it is awesome to us. And it's awesome to us when we get the feedback, knowing that what we are giving you guys is, you know, again, is game. You know what I'm saying? So we thoroughly appreciate you. We thrive off this feedback, and it makes us want to come back and constantly work harder and harder and harder to see how we can serve you all better. You know, so that's the whole point of this. So I got a call to action, guys. Okay. So what I want you to do is comment, invest. All right. If this information was dope for you, comment, invest right now in the comment section. And myself or Max, you know, we'll take a picture of it and then we'll DM you personally, right? We'll DM you personally. If you happen to see this later on in the comment section underneath this video, when you watch it later on, comment invest, okay? And we will get together with you to put together a free 20-minute consultation call, all right? To let you, to again, spend some one-on-one time with you, to let you know, to just talk with you and see, you know, answer some more questions, see if this is really what you want to do, and then we can see what the next steps are, you know, for that. Okay, I have a service of getting your home studio together. You know, I can do that over the telephone. I can do that via a Zoom call, or we can work it out. You know what I'm saying, in some way, somehow. But again, before you do that, I want you to know: is this something that you even need to do? Okay. All right. So again, DM us, put invest in the comment section or write invest right now. You know what I'm saying? And we will definitely, you know, get back to you on that. We'll DM you, get an email and things like that, and take it with the next step, because we want you guys to be great. That's the whole purpose of these things, of these lives. Soundboard Sundays.
And for anybody who just popped in who does not necessarily know who Matty the Chef is, you can even let them know you got more than 15 years of experience in the music industry, and you know how things maneuver, and you know what emerging artists need to do in order to invest in themselves. And tell them what you've been able to learn in those 15 years that they need to take action on today.
Right. You want me to tell them right now, or tell them?
Yeah, you even in it's in a short sentence.
Don't wait around. Okay. That's literally it. Is don't wait around. Figure out if this is something that you need to be doing. You know, and if you're going to be doing it, you got to go extremely hard. Life will end up coming. Somebody is bound to die. Somebody finna get married. Somebody gonna have a baby. Okay. Those 3 things right there can literally shift your whole world all the way up, okay? Like, seize the day today.
Absolutely.
You know, that's honestly what I truly, the information that I wish that I had learned, the information that has continuously been drilled into me, which is, do it today while it's today. You know, there's a scripture, again, you know, I follow the scriptures, right? But there's a scripture that says, follow Yah. That's what we call, you know what I'm saying? God, follow Yah today while it's still today. Okay, make a choice, right? You know, make a choice as to what is your plan, and go super duper hard at that jump. You know, go hard at it so that you can know, look, I put in every single thing that I could possibly put into this project. So I know that I did every single thing I could possibly do, and it didn't work. Or again, I did every single thing I could possibly do, and that's why I'm seeing the results that I'm in today. That I'm seeing today, right? That's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Do not wait, yo. If this legitly, like, if you feel like this is something that you need to do, let's set up that call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do that. Let's set up that call so we can figure out what the next steps are and that you can be on your way today. All right?
Like the acronym says, now. No,
that's what we're here for.
No opportunity wasted. If we're setting up,
no opportunity wasted.
If we're setting up this 20-minute free consultation, that's 20 minutes of our time, and we invest our time in things that are definitely going to help us grow. Knowing that you guys were here early, we talked about this book, How to Influence Friends and How to Win Friends and Influence People. We engage in conversations that are going to potentially get us to six-figure conversations. So y'all got to make sure you get into it right now before it's too late. So if it's free for 20 minutes, I would definitely just type in invest and get ready to invest with people who are ready to invest in themselves.
Very good, very good. And lastly, before we go, y'all, please don't forget to comment. Comment on this live. Let us know your thoughts. Did you enjoy this SBS Soundboard Sundays? SBS, let's get it. How can we better serve you? That's so important to me. It's how we can better serve the public and the audience. And then if you have a topic that you want to know, again, put it in the comments. So me and Max, we can chew on it. Put together a presentation, for you guys. And again, let's get it. That's what we're trying to do here, is create a community where you all, we are tangible people, tangible people. Myself, I've had success in the music industry. Max has had success in the music industry and things like that. And we just want to help you if you are just getting started, or if you're at a little brick wall, place like that. So again, let us know what is on your mind, all right? I appreciate you all. Max, hit him with the last word, bro.
Hey, man, do not be afraid to invest in yourself. Make sure you make that decision today. Remember, now means no opportunity wasted. And take action.
Ooh, no opportunity wasted. Come through with the bar on the last one, Max.
No opportunity
That's what I'm
wasted.
talking about. No opportunity wasted. Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. So
that's me and my
anyways,
you keep saying that. I take that. I'm like, man, that's powerful.
Right on, right on. Oh, Nehemiah Davis is heavy. Yeah, Neo. All right, yo.
We got four new people who just hopped in, man.
Oh, we got four new people. Okay.
Just let them know what was the call to action again.
Oh, yeah. The call to action was, again, look. If you were new, okay, you need to come back and again watch this live again, right? But what you need to do is after well, they'll see the live. But what we want you to do right now, y'all, because we're just about to end the live, we just talked about 8 reasons why you need to invest in a home studio. Maybe today, maybe next week, But you need to you need to know why you need to invest into it. 8 reasons, right? What we want you guys to do is to comment underneath this video once it posts. Let us know what you thought about this video, okay? Let us know how we can better serve you. Let us know if there's topics that we can delve deeper into, in the future Soundboard Sunday lives. And what was the last one? Oh yeah, did you enjoy this? Did you enjoy this Soundboard Sunday?
Yeah.
All right.